Hey scrapbookers and crafters, this is Michelle at michellesizemore.com. That has one L in my website link if you're looking for me. I'm a Creative Memories Advisor, and today you'll learn how to make this cute border using the National Scrapbook Day 2025 collection. It's little potted plants that I made with the border maker cartridge that looks like this. Okay, I'm going to set this aside and we will get started. Have everything I need in this power simple sleeve. It's open at the top and the side just to kind of keep everything together for a project temporarily. And I'm going to start with this brown paper, but I'll just show you real quick what else I used. I used this beige cardstock. I cut this shade of green with the potted plants, this shade, this brown. This is a paper from that collection that I cut it out of, and I'll show you why I cut all these different ones. And then a lighter green, because I wanted 3 different types of green. These terracotta colored pots, and this is the light green that I used for that. This is the paper that I used for the pots. This is the paper I used for the leafy green. And I don't think I used this one. I used this one for a darker green, and I used this for the little shelf. Okay, that really is a lot of cardstock and papers for one little border, but I'll show you why we have so many. Okay, so the first thing I'd like to do is show you how to use this punch. And this is a border punch. It comes closed like this. And to open it, that makes it easy to store. To open it, you want to just move this little thing to the side, and it springs open, and now you can use it. And you put your cardstock in here, but before I do, I want to make sure it's cleaned out because I've been using it a lot. Sometimes if you find that they're not working very well, they might just need to be cleaned out, like because they get scraps up under there. Okay, I'm going to add my cardstock in here, and I'm going to start on this black line. That's where my cardstock starts. Right there. That's important. And I'm going to hold it in place next to this little raised piece and punch. I'm going to bring it down and see how you have your pattern here in blue and the background is silver. The part I just punched out, I want to place over this blue so that you don't see any blue, and that means it's in position for your next punch. And then you do that all the way down to get a 12-inch border. So I'm going to put my cardstock back in and match my pattern up so it covers the blue, and all I see is silver right there. Okay. Now I'm going slow to show you, but I'm gonna speed up here in a sec. Okay, I moved, so I've got to get it back in position. Okay, it's in position. I need to make sure I hold it firmly down so it doesn't slip, and it's straight against that little raised area, and punch. Raise it up and clean out my scraps. Bring it down, match up my pattern. Hold it with my thumb. Bring it down. Match the pattern. Now, since there's more cardstock here, I'm going to hold it here with my fingers and punch. Clean it out after every couple of punches. And then match your pattern. Sorry. I'm not going to keep doing it. You put it back in. I just need to reposition. Put it back in and keep going and doing that. And y'all, I messed up a little bit here, but I can just clean that up with my scissors. So you would do this until you have a 12-inch border. And I've already pre-cut this. This is why I'm kind of not worried that it's not 12 inches. But if I wanted to clean something up like that, I would just take my micro scissors in there and clean it up. And then it would look like there was never a mistake. Okay. So here is my 12-inch piece that I just demonstrated for you. That's the good one. Get rid of my scraps. I always keep a bin right here on the floor so I can dump my scraps in. I always, if I have an edge like that I need to clean up, I just take my Creative Memories micro scissors and clean it up. Sometimes I have those and sometimes I don't. Other than that, I think it looks great, except right here, There's a little tiny piece that I need to straighten up just a little bit. Probably wouldn't even notice it, but I do. Okay, so basically, I cut out several different ones of these. That is my base piece, but I cut these in all the colors that I showed you. This one, this one, this one, and this one. I want to make sure these two shades of green are significantly different. You can pick whatever shades you like, but I wanted 3 different colors of plants. Okay, so I pre-cut those just to save time. So now what I'm going to do is my pots. I'm just going to do one to show you how. And I'm going to work on this mat when I start using my adhesive. Okay, so I want to cut out I'll cut out 2 of the pots. So I'm just going to cut it out. Make sure I keep all the edges even. Okay, and then I'm going to cut the plants off, and then it looks more like a pot. So I'll do a big one and a little one to show you that. I'm going to cut the pots off, and then I'm going to cut the plant off, and I kind of go a little bit curvy to go along the line of the pot. Okay, so I've got those. Now, I also kind of layered the pots to make them look a little bit more 3D. If you look close, you can tell like that there's a different piece here for like the top of the pot. I just think it makes it look a little bit more real, a little bit more 3D like. Okay, so what I'm going to do for that is cut off the plant part there, and then I'm going to right here at this part where the top sticks out like a clay pot, I'm just going to cut that straight across. Okay, and then I'll do the same thing on this little one. Cut the plant off, and then cut this straight across right along the bottom of that top part that sticks out. Okay, so now I'm going to take my repositionable tape runner and just do this. I need my lifter stick. Okay, so here's my lifter stick. It really helps a lot. It's gummy, and it allows you to pick things up that are small. Okay, so I want to put tape runner on the back of this little top piece. It's going to go on the top of my bigger pot. And then I'm just going to stick that down here. And then that kind of makes it look like a legit terracotta pot. You could even go go with a little bit of a brown pen and kind of give it more of a defined edge. Or if you're a person that does inking, you could ink it. But I think it's fine like this for me. And then I would do the same thing to this little pot. My lifter stick. Put my repositionable tape runner on the back. And I think it went, yeah, it went this way. Okay. Oops, I didn't get that on just right. Let's see. Okay, so I have my little pots. So you get the idea. That's how you do the pots, okay? So I'm going to put my repositionable tape runner on the back of this big pot. And I'm going to just cover the brown on this, but I'm going to offset it just a tiny little bit to kind of give it a shadow look. That might have been a little too much to offset it, but what I'll do, I'll just sort of trim that off a little. I don't really want that much brown to show, but I like a little bit of the brown to show to sort of kind of give it some definition and more of a 3D look there. And then I would do the same thing with this pot. I'm going to stick it on top of this one, offset it just a tiny little bit, and I think that one's perfect. Okay, so that's how I do the pots. And I would do those all the way down with the same terracotta. Now for the plants. So this first plant was using this one. Again, this is the paper from the National Scrapbook Day. And what I'm going to do is just cut the plant part off. But I'm still going to leave some at the bottom to give me some something to adhere my residual tape to really well to put it in there. So this is going to go here, but I'm going to tuck it underneath the pot. Okay. So I'm going to put my repositionable tape runner on the back here, and I want about that much. And honestly, I could have done this. I probably should have done the plant part first and then put my pots on. In fact, that's what I would suggest you do. But I'm going to just offset that just a little bit to let a little bit of that brown show. And then I have my like two-tone green plant there. And I don't like that brown shows right there because it's kind of weird. So I'm going to trim that off with my micro scissors. And I like that. Okay. And then I'll just demonstrate one more. So this one uses this darker green cardstock, which is this one. So I'm just going to cut the plant part off, but I'm going to give myself some length that I can tuck underneath the pot. Okay. And this is going to go right here. So I'm going to put my repositionable tape runner on the back here. Lift up my little pot, but again, if you do the green part first, you don't have to lift up your pot. And then I'm going to mount that on top there, just letting a little tiny bit of the brown give it a little shadow look. So I would just do that all the way down. Now this next pot would be using this green. It's a different shade of green. This one would be using this one again, and then I just alternate them. So that's how I did the pots. And then I cut a piece of this wood grain paper. This paper, I wanted it to look like real wood, is from the Wonderful Day collection. It's got several different shades of wood, and I love it. I love getting that collection just for this paper alone, but I like the whole collection. So I'm going to cut with my trimmer a piece, and I want to go I want the wood grain to go horizontal like this, so I'm going to cut it in this direction, and I'm going to see about how it looks like it's about 3/4 of an inch. So, and I think I like this side better. Okay, so I'm going to take my trimmer and pull up the arm and make sure my little foot is popped out to make it level on my table. And I'm going to stick this in and line it up with the 3/4 inch mark here. Make sure it follows that grid line all the way down. Make sure it's straight at the top and hold it. And cut. And then I have my little shelf. My little shelf for my little pots. And then I need this background right here in beige. I cut it to slightly less than 2 inches. And I think I thought I had all my papers, but I don't see the beige. Yep, there it is. Okay, so I'm going to cut it slightly less than 2 inches, maybe about 1 3/4 inches. Okay. Now I'm going to mount this wood grain look onto the bottom here. Grab my silicone mat. And this is to help me not get adhesive on my table. The great thing about this repositionable tape runner is when you use it, the clear sticky dots go on what you're using it on, but then the excess will come off on the silicone mat. Well, no, not on the mat. the mat repels the excess, so this excess stays in here. So it makes it easier to clean up and less messy. So I'm going to put some repositionable tape runner along one edge, just in little dabs here. Now I want to make sure I get it about the same size. So I'm just going to eyeball it here, and then I'm going to put this here just along the bottom. So you got about that much sticking out. It's a little bit crooked. Let's see. Again, I love this repositionable tape runner because it's crooked and I use repositionable. I can pick it up and reposition it. But over time it settles down, like it won't fall apart when you're looking at your book later. Okay, so that's how I did that part. Now I just need to add my little plants and then I'll be done. So I'm going to take my scissors. I prefer my micro scissors because this is little small intricate stuff. And I'm going to cut this off and cut this one off. All right, and then I'm going to put my repositionable tape runner on the back, and I want to do it like this one. So I'm going to start with this pot. Just follow along the way the Border Maker cartridge was, and then mount this. I could go up a little higher if I want. And then the next one I'll do is this one. You want to make sure you get some repositionable tape runner on the back of these leaves so they won't bend and stuff. And put this here. And, you know, you could kind of make them staggered a little bit. And then you just do that all the way across. And this would be a cute little bottom border for a spring page or a gardening page. I love the layered look. Let me show you closer again how just cutting the tops off the pots makes them look a little bit more realistic.